One of the most quoted verses in the Bible is Luke 6:37. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Or it says, do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Pardon, and you will be pardoned. And some people take this passage and they use it to say, well, that we can never apply judgment. But if that were the case, there could never be any kind of correction applied within the community of believers. The reality is that on multiple occasions, the Bible actually gives us guidance on how we're to judge. In John chapter 7, Yeshua says, don't judge on the appearance, but judge righteously. And in 1 Corinthians 5, Paul actually says, look, it's not our place to judge the unbelieving world, to judge outsiders. We're going to let God handle that. But it is our responsibility to judge those inside the believing community. In the passage in Luke chapter 6, where Yeshua says, don't judge and you will not be judged, he goes on to say, a disciple is not above his teacher. In verse 40, he says, but everyone who is fully trained will be like his teacher. And then he continues saying, why are you looking at the speck in your brother's eye, but you don't notice the beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when you yourself don't see the beam sticking out of your own eye? First, he says, take the beam out of your eye, and then you will see clearly the speck in your brother's eye to take it out. Right? The one who's fully trained is to be like his master. And so as those who are to take our cues from Yeshua, to be trained to be like him, what is he teaching us, saying to us about how we judge one another? When you look at the whole of the passage, is he saying that we can't deal with the speck in our brother's eye? No, he didn't say, leave the speck there. What he's dealing with is the manner in which we handle the speck in our brother's eye. He said, first, take the beam out of your own eye, and then you'll see clearly the speck in your brother's eye to take it out. And he's addressing the condition of our heart and the manner in which we deal with the brokenness of each other. There is a place and a time for speaking into one another's lives, for dealing with the speck that you see in the eye of the other. But the prerequisite for dealing with their speck is that we ourselves are in a continual place of introspection. Right? When we have the heart position of search me first, Lord, when we're first focused on dealing with what's protruding from our own lives, that process will develop in you and in me an attitude of heart that will have mercy and grace toward others. I am to love the sinner, but my focus is to be on hating my sin first. Love the sinner, but hate my own sin. Once I've struggled to deal with what's closest to me, with the battering ram that's jutting out from my own eye, it's at that point that I'm in a position to address the speck in another's eye. By the time I've dealt with my beam, my heart should be adequately humbled by the realization of my own sin, so that I would come to my brother with gentleness and kindness and empathy, and ultimately with the heart to restore. That the Lord has been gracious with me in removing the beam from my own eye, loving me enough to restore me despite my faults. With me having received his kindness so beautifully, won't I be in a position to extend that kindness to others? Wouldn't it be absurd for me to deal harshly with another when God has dealt so graciously with me? At issue here is my heart, the heart of the one judging. When we judge, we're to judge like our teacher, like our master, with his heart, motivated by his kindness, motivated by what motivates him. Are we coming from a place of love and a desire to restore? What is the Lord's heart toward me when he corrects me? And may I have that heart toward others. Love the sinner. Keep hating my own sin.